returns. Your boy I Kim. We are back. We are back. We are back. Special edition. Every edition is special, but here in the podcast today, joined by two guests. Got my brother, Mr. Kaiser Clay. Was goody? Don't leave me hanging, bro. Appreciate you. We've been talking about. I don't know what's going on with his hair, but this is Kaiser activity right here, and the one and only Kim. I always say Fontaine. Am I saying it right?
That's
Correct
correct.
me. Fontaine, the one and only Kim Fontaine, legend, the GOAT. In the industry, she's been around and seen like the transition in Houston from what nightlife used to be to where it is now. I've been there too, a little longer, but her perspective on nightlife is important, and I feel like we need to share that. So I appreciate you coming, Mom. Thank you for making the time.
Thanks
Been
for
trying
having
to chase her down for like months. Kim was like, "Where you at? Bermuda, like somewhere." A travel enthusiast. So thank you. I appreciate you. Shouts out to our sponsor, Grand Marnier, for making this podcast possible. Candy, we appreciate you. Thank you. So let's dig in. Kim, tell us about yourself. Where you from?
I'm from Minnesota.
Minnesota. Caught me off guard with that one.
Y'all didn't know that?
Wow. I did not know that. Well, actually, I think about it. Greg, you and Greg Douglas, right? When he was doing his Prince joint. Anyway,
Yes.
Minnesota.
Yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
So Minnesota, how'd you get to Houston?
I came down for grad school.
Grad school.
Yeah.
So you went to, undergrad
Prairie.
was where?
University of Minnesota.
Okay.
Then I came down and I did 2 masters at Prairie View.
Got 2 masters.
Yeah.
One is not enough. Jesus. All right. So that'll explain.
Things you learn.
And what did you study?
I did one in counseling, and then I did another in human science.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
That's dope. I did not know that. Congrats. That's pretty impressive.
For real.
Dope resume. Was Houston choice, or that's just where you got accepted and that's the school you wanted to go
Initially, I was going to go, and they had a PhD program in chiropractic up in Dallas. So I went up there, had locked in a place to stay, had met with the dean. They were going to pay for my extra science classes that I needed and everything. And I decided, you know what? My early 20s, I do not want to like stay in class and study all day. So like
Right.
class was like 9 to 5, then 3 hours of homework every night. I said, I don't want to do that.
Do that, right.
I had a friend down here. She was a soccer coach at Prairie View. And she said, come down here. You don't need your GRE to get in. It's like, all right.
Interesting.
I just didn't want to take any time off.
So that little decision, and we don't get to have the greatness of Kim in Houston. Thank goodness. What all do you do currently? Because I know you just do waitressing on the side. I know that.
So I also do real estate. I work
Okay.
with CR Elite Realty. Yes.
Okay, that's dope. For how long now?
I've had my license in real estate for over 10 years now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
Okay. So waitressing is just something to do on the side. What makes you decide to start that? And where did you work at first?
With waitressing?
Yes.
Honestly, when I first came down, I went to Onyx.
Okay. Early days was at Onyx.
And I stayed with Onyx for about 7 years. And regardless, when I started getting into the clubs, I stayed
Still
at
work
Onyx
there.
every night. 7 days a week, I was there after hours,
Wow.
regardless.
So even when you just see, I did not know that. I wasn't going to Onyx.
Yeah.
But I was at HK. We Harvard 9 graduates.
Bruh.
Shouts out to Chris. Hey, Clay, you was there.
Bruh.
No.
I worked out there for special events.
Okay, there you
Ted
go.
Wheeler,
Yeah.
Jensen, bro, baby.
And again, I'm trying to showcase the importance of waitressing in nightlife. I think it's overlooked a lot, and again, this is why we're having this conversation. Almost every successful club, bar right now has a special team of waitresses, either from the promoter or the owner, and that didn't used to be the case.
Mm-hmm.
And in my opinion, you represent that ideal that they all have to match and fit now, you know. And that's why I want to talk to you on how you got into it. How did you get as good? You know how good you are, right? I'm not just talking, right? And how you got as good as you did, and to see where it is now, people are mimicking the stuff that you've been doing. You know what I mean? talk about the early days. What was the first spots you worked at? I get Onyx, but particularly
So
nightlife.
clubs,
Right.
My first spot I went to was Visions, and Visions they already had their girls, and but I would come in and work. But my real first spot that was my home was M-Bar.
Okay, gotcha.
So I had a friend, and the girl asked my friend to work, and she said she didn't want to do it. I used to do promotions for Anheuser-Busch.
Okay.
So we would go to M-Bar
gotcha.
anyway.
I remember that. Right,
yeah.
Right.
And
where you come past the beers and that. Okay.
Yeah. It was a
I
Making
remember
Friends
those
campaign.
days.
Yeah. So that was great. So she decided she didn't want to, and I said I'll do it. It was an all-star that came
All-Star
in town.
Weekend.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was like, I'll do it. They put me upstairs where it was low. I had some people come in that I knew. I was running circles around the girls. All the other girls made like $60, and I was in like the slow section. I made like $400. I went to them. I'm like, what are we gonna do? Because I'm not busting my money down with them.
Hold it down. Say, hey, that is crucial. Say that again.
No bust down.
What is it called today? Tip pool.
Tip pool.
There you go.
Yeah.
So let's dig into it because I'm clueless. I'm sorry. I didn't know nothing about nightlife. T. White really showed me the importance of this and the dynamic of waitressing, and just started thinking about it and getting more exposed into it.
Mm-hmm.
But that's an important thing because if you're going to get into waitressing, a lot of ladies are doing this stuff. You need to get this education on how it works. Typically, everybody does their stuff, and the money that's generated, you bust it down. But if one person or group of girls are clearly superior or doing better than others, then they get to go to GM, manager, owner, and
Well,
say,
it wasn't like that.
It wasn't like
Nah.
that. It wasn't like that.
Yeah.
But you kept your 400, right?
Yeah.
Absolutely. And the point is, if you're clearly dancing circles around your fellow workers, you get to make those demands. Now, these days it gets to happen or not, but just important that you said that, and I want people to take note of that. So that happens, and DeAndre calls you to Vision.
So I was at Visions, and then, but my main place was M-Bar
M-Bar,
after
gotcha.
that. And then, so after that, they called me and they said, hey, do you want to work on a regular basis? Of course I do.
Right.
So then I started working Thursdays, and I'd work Saturdays with them, and then go to Onyx after hours. And
Yeah,
then,
that's long hours.
yeah, but it was good. It was
It
worth it,
was
and
great
it was
money.
normal.
Right.
And I was in school. But M-Bar, I ended up, nobody wanted to take the gut. Sorry, Hank. he's still my customer to this day. He was out on Sunday with me.
Right.
But nobody wanted to take Hank. He was tough to deal
He
with.
was
I was like,
tough to, he was a
give him to me.
problematic.
Give him to me.
Right. And
I'll
you were like,
take
I'll
him.
take. Right.
I ended
you knew
up-
how to deal and massage those kind of egos.
yeah, I ended
Right.
up tripling sales in the gut of M-Bar and
M-Bar.
adding a table. And then after that, I feel like every club that opened, they would call me.
Absolutely.
So Mercury Room, when they opened Boca Bar, I was there. When, everything, what was that? Not Grasshopper, but the one that was it Grasshopper?
No, it was
iBar or
iBar.
Yeah.
And then with Russ's Club, OPM, all that stuff.
Level, and what was it?
Level,
Shadow
that's
Bar.
right.
Yeah,
Shadow
all
Bar.
that. Yeah.
Right,
Office.
Office. Yeah, I remember you specifically in
Cotton
Office.
Exchange.
Cotton Exchange.
Oh yeah, I
all
was at
that.
Cotton Exchange as well.
You were at
Yes.
Cotton Exchange?
Yes, I was
That's
at
dope.
Cotton Exchange.
Okay, so I just want y'all to take note of what's going on with Kim is when clubs would open, they would actually reach out for her, trying to solicit her service to be there because you knew the clients, right? Had a database. Like, we couldn't even reach some of these guys. You could book them all day, but they would call her first. I need a spot. I need a table. This is when tables just started. So you have to be good at what you do to get that kind of rapport with the clients like that, because there were other waitresses, but
Yeah.
they weren't getting they weren't getting calls, right? So that's dope. Dopest place you remember working? Let's just go back circa that time. I think it's hand down.
We still got to give it up to M-Bar.
M-Bar is the GOAT. Everything
No
started
question.
from M-Bar without question. That's dope. Let's transition to the current state. How do you feel nightlife is different from now versus how it was? She's like, where do I start?
Yeah. It's totally different.
Totally
Yeah.
different.
We went.
It was organic back then, bro.
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It wasn't
in my
forced.
opinion.
Nightlife was so organic back then. It's like it wasn't like who's here, who's gonna be here. It was like
Right.
I'm coming. to have
I'm
a
just
good
going
time.
out to
You
go
knew
out.
If you
Right.
went out on Thursday night, you could save your outfit. Why? Because you knew you were gonna have a good time.
Right.
There
Right.
was no
Absolutely.
question.
And then back then it was like there was one Thursday spot. Well, there were a couple, but you knew where everybody was going. And 10 o'clock, you were in that line. I'm
One
sorry.
Wednesday spot.
The
Yes.
Wednesday spot. It was Roxy.
Yes.
You know, did you do Roxy?
I worked at Roxy a couple times, but no, I would go out to Roxy.
Right.
That was
Right,
when
go
I had to
out.
have
Like,
some
you needed
fun.
a night off. Right.
Yeah.
Right. Where do you work now?
I'm at the address.
The address. Shouts out to the address. Shouts out to Mo,
Yes.
Keith, Obi. I heard they're doing some remodeling there now. Got to come check that out.
Yep.
Do other clubs still try to solicit you and get you away from them? I'm sorry, I got to dig in. And you can plead the fifth, but
Not so much.
not so
Not
much.
so much. I mean, I'm fair. Like, I know I work at the address. Of course, I'll book people there first. But if somebody calls and they want to go somewhere else, I
have
have
the
enough
connects.
relationships,
Right.
you know, in the industry where I can say, okay, hey, I'll shoot them over to Brandon or Little Keith or whoever,
Gotcha.
you know.
Some of those, and I'm glad you made mention of that. So, are there promoters that I'm going to put you on the spot? Who are the people that you've enjoyed working with? And I'm gonna just say good, just the good part. We're not going to talk about the people that you didn't like working with. Just trying to give you that easy political answer.
Well, let's talk about like management and ownership and stuff like that. I would say Carlos Castillo was one of the best that I
Carlos,
worked
my
with.
God.
Carlos.
bro.
Listen.
Yeah.
He's good at what he does. That is. If y'all don't know Carlos Castillo, he was the manager at the M Bars, the owner of Hanky and Pillow right now. Shouts out to Carlos. Anybody else?
Yeah. We've had a lot of fun days working with Dewan as well.
Dewan for
Yeah,
sure. GM of the
Office,
year for me
and,
for like multiple years.
And what was the last one on Washington? Social Junkie.
Social Junkie.
Yeah.
Oh, we had a lot of
right,
fun at
Lots
Social
of
Junkie
fun,
as well.
Right,
Yeah.
right. Okay, that's cool. I got a whole bunch more. Any philosophy, any tips that you will give a lady interested in going into waitressing in the current climate? Have the good work ethic, like is it important that they build that client database?
Okay, so before you build the client database, I feel like you need to build up yourself.
Gotcha.
So the biggest thing that you need to do is be knowledgeable. If I don't
Okay.
feel like I can trust you, why would I go through you?
Understood. Okay.
Now the market is saturated with waitresses.
True.
So what makes you stand
What
out?
makes you stand out
If
from
I
others?
can't trust that when I book my table, it's going to be where I asked you for it to be,
Right.
why would I go with you?
Right.
If I can't trust you, know what the prices are or who to deal with or how to handle stuff, I can't
No
trust you
brand
with
new
$7,000.
Right. No, you don't want no last minute changes to like the prices and stuff.
Yeah.
Or I know people are particular trying to be where they have to be.
The biggest thing is be authentic and be solid.
Right.
Yeah.
Integrity
That's big.
matters. Not
I mean,
only
that's one thing I can say about Kim. As long as I know her, she's been stand up. No,
stand up,
it ain't
you.
been no
no stories,
stories,
no nothing.
scandals.
Listen,
And Kim has been Kim, bro.
We
like,
came from going to the clubs. We don't even know, but we'll see her and we know like that one there solid. Like we knew her just as friends because she was so good at what she did.
Good
Then we're
people.
not in nightlife and starting to see like more of it. Did a couple trips too. You're a traveler. You're an
Yes.
enthusiast, right?
Yes.
Favorite place to go to?
I still love Cabo.
Cabo's the spot. I have not been to Cabo, bro.
Really,
Ever?
it's so
Ever.
close. It's
wait a
quick.
minute, wait, pause.
Just,
You're
listen,
saying the man who's jumped life,
That
traveled
jump
all over,
life
has never been
because
to Cabo.
Once it's Mexico, it's Cancun. I did Puerto Vallarta once. Hated the experience. I'm like, I'm not giving Cabo a chance. So if I'm gonna do it, I'm just gonna do Cancun. So I'm gonna
Things you
I'm
learn
gonna
about
give it
your
a
brother,
shot.
I tell you.
All right, no doubt.
Shout out
I
to
stopped
podcast.
traveling with you.
One
We're not
time.
doing that. No. I got stuck twice traveling with you.
One time.
Yeah. Sorry, a little trauma that I'm going through. Traveling with Clay, and there's one seat left. He gets the seat. I'm like, I ain't doing that again. Anyway, sorry to digress. Anything you're working on, you want to give a shout out to anybody if they want to reach you for a realtor, for looking for a spot?
Yeah.
Shout out the Instagram, all of that.
Yep.
This is the platform.
You can reach me on Instagram at VIP Kim.
VIP Kim,
You
man.
wanna
Kim
buy,
Fontaine.
sell, invest. What are you looking to do in Houston? Let's get it done.
Right, no doubt. Again, just trying to let y'all know how important the aspect of waitressing is important, how important it is to nightlife, and talking to one of the lead pioneers as far as waitressing in the city. Ladies trying to get into the business, reach out to Kim. She will respond, but if she sees you fake, out of there. I appreciate you. I appreciate you coming today. This was an important conversation to have. Trying to go into every aspect of it. We're talking to DJs, talking to waitresses, talking to bouncers, not just the promoters and the GMs and all of that. So thank you for making the time. Appreciate it. Clay, appreciate you, brother.
We out.
No doubt. I need to put you on the podcast, matter of fact. I know you got stories to tell.
Good, man.
It's all good.
Your stories are my story. We share the same
true.
experience.
True that. But yeah, that's it. Just want to wrap it up on the podcast today. Thank you again, Kim, for coming. Appreciate you,
Thanks for having
my
me.
brother. Shouts out to Grandma Ye again. Candy, we appreciate you, and we out.